Alright, so for our next 3D chart, we're going to be talking about the 3D bar chart. And this is actually a little more complex, and it's going to take a little more brain work for you guys to understand actually what's going on. So I've gotten back to our 5 basic lines of code. We're importing the 3D module, we're importing matplotlib. We need to import one more thing actually, and that's going to be numpy. We talked about that a few lectures ago. Import numpy as np, and numpy will allow us for a function that will just make our lives a little bit more simpler. So we have our chart.figadd subplot 111 projection equal 3D. And now you're probably thinking, well, let's just go ahead and add XYZ and add it to the bar. So just, say chart.bar and then XYZ colors equal blah, stuff like that. However, it works a bit different here. So the way I want you to think about it is you have a starting position and then you have the ending position, okay? So the way this works is you first initialize your XYZ and then you initialize your delta X, delta Y, and delta Z, okay? And by doing so, the delta X, delta Y, delta Z basically tell the bar chart where to end the height or the width, the length of the 3D part of the bar chart. So it is a bit confusing, but think of it as the first 3 as the initial position and then the last 3 as the ending position. So it is a bit complicated, but luckily, again, this is all visual. So I'll write the code, we'll go ahead and run it, and then I'll show you what happens once we start changing stuff. So let's go ahead and write our x's first. So x is equal to our normal thing, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then we have y. Y is equal to, again, this can be anything. So this is completely up to you because this can be whatever height you want. So you can do 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 6, 2, 1, 7, 2. Okay. And then what you can do is you can say maybe z is equal to, or so for z, you want all of them to be 0. So the way I want you to visualize this is this is an initial position. So for z, which is the height, we want our bars to start at the bottom. And then for the delta z, we'll tell them how high do we want the bars to go. Same thing with x. We're starting at 1. Then with delta x, we can say how maybe width-wise do we want our bars to go. So it is a bit complicated, but trust me, you'll get it soon enough. It's not that complicated. So these are, I believe, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yes. And now we're going to write our deltas. So for delta x and delta y, we don't really want to change anything, do we? We just want it to stay there. We care about the height right now. We don't really care about delta x and delta y. So this is where the numpy module comes in. What we can do is say dx is equal to np.ones 10. And what this does is it generates an array of 10 ones. So it's basically creating 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, except we don't have to write that out. It just saves us, some time. So dy is the exact same thing. np.ones 10, okay? And the reason why we're doing this is because we don't want x or y to go anywhere. We're just trying to, make it a little bit. So increase it by 1 to give it that base, I guess. But other than that, we don't want it to move. And then with z, so dz, we're going to set this equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So this is the height, okay? This is the height of all 10 blocks. So hopefully that made sense to you. Again, it is somewhat confusing, and once you visualize it, it'll make more sense. And let's go ahead and add this to our chart. So chart.bar3d instead of bar, and then it's going to be x, y, z, dx, dy, dz, and then the color. So I'm going to do color equal to cyan because cyan's a pretty nice color. And then we have plt.show. So command s F5. And now you'll hopefully see what I'm talking about. Okay, here's our Python launcher, and here is our figure. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to minimize this, or I'm going to keep it like that, okay? So right now, let's just take a look at the x and the y axes. So what is our x? This is, no, wait, what's our x? You know what? Before I even do that, let's go ahead and add the X and Y labels so that I don't get too confused. X label is the X label is X label. PLT.Y label is Y label. I feel like I'm forgetting something here. Y label and PLT.Z label is, whoops, not X label, Z label is Z label. Okay. Let's Command S, F5. Okay, so I believe I needed an underscore over here. Underscore X label, underscore Y label, underscore Z label. I think I'm blanking out. Forgot the labels, but yeah. Let me quickly check. I know how to do this. I have done it before. That's why. That's odd though. It's not working. Let me see. Right. Sorry. Set X label, set Y label, set Z label. Sorry about that, guys. Quick verification right there. So set Y label. I guess once you record for a long period of time, you start blanking out. So I guess it's time for me to take a break. So set X, set Y, set Z, and now we are continuing on. Okay, so that worked. And now it's it's not. What's wrong? Oh, okay, right. Chart.set label. That's the error I'm getting into. Chart.Y label and chart.set Z label. Sorry for the delay, guys. I'll definitely take a break after this video. Okay, here we go. So now, seeing that there's an X, Y, and Z, let's see. So this is 1, 2. Okay, that makes sense. That's 1, 2. 2, 3, 3, 4. Again, I think I'm looking at it the wrong way, but if you look at it like this, and this is the way it was meant to be displayed, you can see this sort of steps, okay? And this is the whole delta Z coming in. So remember when we specified X and Y just to be ones, and DZ to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, the DZ is giving our bar the height. So you see this height? It's because of DZ. Now, if you go ahead and change one of these, let's say the 3 to 10, save this in F5, you're going to notice now that we have one bar, which is a bit too big. So looking at it from the way we're supposed to, our third bar is now 10. So I think you're understanding how the DZ works. Let's go ahead and try changing DX to 0. Just something I want to try. So the way this is going to work is 0, 0, is that 10? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yes, Command S, F5. And let's just go ahead and check out what happens. So this is what happens, okay? They become paper thin strips. Not something that we really require, but take a look. So the DX, the DY, and the DZ give our they give our bar that 3D look, okay? So the DX, the DY, by setting them as 1, 1, they make it as a square. So it's now a 1 by 1 sort of square, and then the DZ gives it the height. So it's 1 by 1 by 1. So for our first one, it's 1, 1, 1. Second one is 1, 1, 2. So you have a 1 by 1 base, and then the height is 2, okay? So that's what the DX, DY, and DZ do. I'm going to go back and make this as DB1s, NP1s, 10. And, you know, just for fun, let's go ahead and change out a Z. So you're probably wondering, well, why the zeros? Go ahead and try changing one as maybe 3. So, again, we're changing the third one to 3. So Command S, F5. And the reason why we put them 0 in the first place is so that they're on the ground. Now, if you take a look, you can definitely see one floating right there. Let me get this to a place where it's, yeah. So these are our 10 bars, and you see one just floating in the air happily. That's what happened when we changed our Z to 3. So the Z value makes it all at 0. The X and the Y value specify where on the graph we're supposed to place them. Awesome job, guys. Again, this was probably the most complicated graph we talked about so far, but hopefully things made sense to you. Again, you know how to add the title, you know how to change the color, you know how to do all that stuff, so I'm not going to go into it. But this was our 3D bar graph. Terrific job, guys, and I'll see you in the next lecture.